or quarter to 10, long enough to put on some lipstick and go on and anchor the news. It was terrible. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Make my hips slimmer.
Abs tighter. Thighs leaner. My shoulders broader.
My waist thinner.
My chest stronger. Make my
Body harder.
Join Holiday Spa Health Club now. Get 2 years or 2 people for 1.
Excuses don't give you a great body. Exercise does.
The world heats up. Political campaigns come to a boil. The arts hit a fevered pitch. And a new discovery sets the world on fire. To understand it all, call in a team of specialists. Watch 5, the news specialist.
What kind of blankets are on sale at Mervyn's? All the blankets. Fluffy ones, furry ones, thermal ones. Even electric blankets are on sale. And they're all 30 to 50% off at Mervyn's big blanket sale. But it ends this Sunday, so hurry up.
Do you want to save more money grocery shopping? Then you've got to think big. Shop at Albertsons for big savings and big selections on our quality Supreme meat, our farm fresh Supreme produce. You'll save in a big way on our big name national brands. And having it all under one roof saves a lot, because we know saving you time and money is still a big deal.
We're talking about working moms.
If you had it to do all over again, would you do it the same way?
All over as far as working is concerned or having children?
Both.
Both. If I had to choose between having children and working, and that was the only choice I had, I would have children. I find children to be very satisfying, and I love my kids, and I enjoy what they do, and I watching them grow and become adults and go on with their lives. And as a grandmother now, I have that benefit. But if I had no choice and had to work, then I would be very, very serious about my career, and I would get all the education I could, and I would be very specific about my career, and I'd take it very, very seriously, which you young women have to really think about this, because you're going to be working about 50 years of your life somewhere, before, during, or after marriage. And so that is a big preparation that you need to look at.
There are situations that arise. Death of a husband, divorce these days is, we don't even need to mention. How many people? That's absolutely, yes. And low salaries, husbands injured, out of work, laid off. What else? Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
there are so many things to be considered that if you are, the better prepared you are for a career, the happier you will be to be out in the workforce.
Do you feel that if you hadn't been a mother, that you could do your job better?
Has it held you back in your work or career?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm better. I'm a better person because I have children. I'm a calmer person, surprisingly enough. I think I've matured because I have children. And it has put work into perspective. It is not the most important thing. That news story is not the most important thing in my life. It is one of the important things I have to do during the day or the newscast. But compared to my husband and children, it's, you know, it has its own place.
But now, Carol, where do you find the right balance? I mean, you and I are desk mates. We sit next to each other, and I've seen you
well,
before
you know, sometimes we don't.
When that news story has got to be done,
That's right.
And Caitlin gives you a call, or not Caitlin, Jennifer.
Well, what happened, you've seen one evening, I promised that I would be home by, you know, no later than 5:30, because Neil had a seminar to teach that night at BYU, so we had to have time to get to Provo to do that. And here I was, it was 5:30, I haven't left yet, I'm leaving in 10 minutes. 10 of 6, I haven't left yet, I'm leaving in 10 minutes. And he finally said, I'm taking the girls. I've got to go, and I thought, oh no. Here's a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they're going to sit in on a, you know, college seminar. And when I got there, I raced to Provo. They were having a great time. But, I mean, I was a mess. Oh dear, you know, that kind of thing.
I guess what it comes down to is if any working mother is asked, which is more important, your job or your child, of course it's your child. But it's the little teeny questions that go on all day long. It's not the big crises, but it's the, should you go to this meeting or should you go to your kindergartner's, first sing-song? Should you take the kid to soccer, or should you make sure that she hit this deadline for work? And in those cases, work always seems to be more urgent.
Could I bring up one point, just in answer to his question also? A couple of years back, I was offered a job here that I would love to have taken, but the schedule was 2 to 11. And as a single working mother, that was impossible for me, because I could not work 2 to 11 with my children in school. I would never see them. I would get up and send them off to school in the morning, and I would never see them again until the next morning. So to me, that was a choice between my children and my career.
What would you do if, like, your kid got sick at school or got hurt? What would you do if you're in, like, the middle of the newscast or something? What backup do you have?
Well, that's true. It depends on exactly when it is and how bad the emergency is. But I wouldn't hesitate to leave. If it was a serious emergency, I'd get up off the news desk and go to the hospital or to the school or whatever. I think that can be easily explained. Everyone in the viewing audience has a family, and to have someone say, well, Carol's had an emergency and needed to leave. That has not ever happened, I don't think. You came close to, you were about ready to give birth one time.
Yes, I've been on air and been in labor.
But that's the closest I remembered any kind of an emergency or whatever. But luckily that hasn't happened. Well, we get warnings.
It was a slow labor. We'll be right back.
Take advantage of legal help before someone takes advantage of you. If you've been injured in an accident and are asked to sign a release, do you know the legal effect of what you're doing? Are you absolving everyone else of further responsibility? Are you being offered a fair cash settlement for your pain and trouble? Should you get another opinion? Robert DeBry helps people who've been injured in an accident. Call 262-8915.
Don't miss the Fred Meyer's store-wide half-price sale on selected items for your home and family. Warm new looks for fall and gifts for someone special. Things to keep you looking good and for making the right moves. Save on tools for the handyman and things to brighten up your home. Or give your car a new look during the Fred Meyer half-price sale. And enter to win one of 50 trips for 2 to Hawaii in a great Hawaiian flyaway from Fred Meyer and Hawaiian Airlines. The colors of paradise since 1929.
The plasmasphere. It uses high-voltage, high-frequency electricity to create light.
I'm Channel 5 meteorologist Len Randolph, and now at the Hanson Planetarium, you can become electrified by The Zap Show. The Zap Show at Hanson Planetarium. It's an experience you'll never forget.
Electrifying crowds daily. Sponsored by your nonprofit consumer-owned electrical systems and Channel 5.
When man created the main dish, he created the argument what to serve with it. Peas are called carrots. Peas are called carrots. It raged for centuries. Peas, carrots. Peas, carrots. Today it ends. Introducing the Budget Gourmet single-serving side dishes, like cheese tortellini, spring vegetables, batcher potatoes, and more. The Budget Gourmet, and a truly low-priced man will never argue about side dishes again.
Steak? I thought we agreed on pork chops.
Join us for Talk About. Call KSL 5678 for your free reservation. Groups and clubs are welcome. Call KSL 5678.
That's the number to call. We're happy today to have a group of teenagers from MoundFort Junior High in Ogden. And we'd like you to come and be in our Talk About audience. KSL 5678 is the number to call. You had a question?
What do you do about your kids when you work? Like, who watches them?
We cannot function alone. All of us have a pretty good backup system. In our family, it's sort of a shared responsibility with 3 people. Either I'm at home, or my husband is at home, or our nanny is there. I have a young lady named Lisa, who is part of our family now, and she comes into our home 2 days a week to take care of the children. And so we call her a third parent at our house.
Allison?
That's been a real struggle for me just recently. My mother-in-law, my son's grandma, was watching him, and of course that's the best kind of care you can possibly get.
family care.
She'd already raised 7 boys. She didn't want to raise another family, and after 1 year of tending them full-time, she said, I think I've done my share, and so I've had to go outside, and I found a wonderful neighbor who only has 1 child and wanted someone for her child to play with, and our kids are about the same age. That was a real trauma for me.
Why?
To go from, this Bill problem is still here. I could deal with it with a family member, with a grandma. I remember being with my grandma, and that was always wonderful. Now to send him to a stranger's home, there are always new fears.
It's an unknown.
It's an unknown. You don't know whether he'll enjoy it, whether it'll be good for him, whether he'll get all he needs there. It seems to be working out, and I feel a lot better, but those are the kind of things where you stop and really think, now, do I want to do this, or do I need to rethink my whole situation?
One time, as I recall, I was feeling very guilty about this myself, and I think it was you, Carol, that told me that you look at it in terms of increasing your child's circle of loved ones. More people who care about that child. I guess the trick is to find a person that can do that.
And you have to almost let the child help you choose that person. As I was interviewing nannies, I watched them and watched the child's interaction, and it has always worked out for us, that the person who responded in the right way and the way my children responded to them.
Carol, what did you do when you were working years ago?
Well, we worked it out where I would work the opposite schedule of my husband, but as I also became a single parent and had to take the full responsibility, then I had a good neighbor that helped out. But the biggest problem I felt in the long view of raising children, it was much easier, believe it or not, to raise them when they're little and you can put them in an environment that you can choose. Then when you have teenagers and they have freedom and they have 2 legs to take them all over town, then you have a whole new ball game. And if you don't have a good rapport with your children by that time and have a system set in motion, then you can really have some real guilt problems as a parent of teenagers.
Do you feel like you've missed out on your children growing, you know?
You get a second chance with the grandchildren. And you get all the fun things. Yes, you do. I miss out on the recitals. I miss out on the things, school activities. And you really have to schedule your life all the time when you're a working parent.
Do you like your job well enough to turn down a different job that would provide more time for you and your family to be together?
Yeah, I do like my job well enough to stay right where I am for a great deal of time. And this is something that my husband and I have talked about. We are very lucky to have 2 careers that we're both crazy about and that afford us the kind of flexibility that we have. So, yeah, it would take, I don't know what, to move me. I really don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering if you knew how your kids feel about you working.
Janine, why don't you field that one? Your kids are about 8 to 11.
I have an advantage because Allison did a story on latchkey children last year, and she interviewed my children, and I have the tape in my desk.
What'd they say?
They said that they thought it was great that Mom would work because otherwise they'd have to go out and mow lawns
To earn the living for the family.
Right.
Do you think it has helped your children in any way that you work?
My children are extremely outgoing, very gregarious, love to do things. There are times when they say, Mom, I wish you could be home, but
Independent, too.
I need
help
to
them with their own responsibility.
thank each and every one of you. Carol Robinson, Janine Carver, Carol McKeon, and Allison Barlow, thank you for joining us. And we've had a great audience. I appreciate all your good questions. And thank you for joining us. Hope to see you for our next Talk About. Good morning.